Yes, no touching of yourself. That's a different kind of show. All right, so a couple of notes. I know I'm not by myself, and crossing through 3 different divisions. From figure, when I look at her now, I'm like, what was happening? However, to women's physique, to now women's bodybuilding. One thing that I've noticed with a lot of young ladies who have that experience or who may be a little more apprehensive once they are on stage, we are the biggest, right? And we need to display bigness, okay, wideness. The one thing I noticed was that I was very closed off with a lot of my posing. And you need to open that body up. And the more you open up, the more we can create the flow of shape. Okay, so that's something that we really want to touch on, especially with the mandatories today. So when we're coaching athletes, we typically like to start from the bottom up. Okay, once you have the bottom in place, everything else should flow. Okay, so it's like step 1, set up your feet. Step 2, make sure that you're shifting your weight where it needs to be. And then step 3, abs and everything above the navel, okay? So keep those things in mind because again, some girls get so focused on, I gotta get my lats spread, but they forget their legs. They got great legs, but there's absolutely no display of quads. And, you know, this is something that we're gonna touch on in the front pose, you know, depending on
type of styles I like for her. We've been working together for 2 years now, so we've kind of found all of her angles. And I know what works for her, we kind of just we magnify it each show, each Olympia, each title. So for her, she has really good quads, so I don't need her to stagger too much. I like her to be straight on, so that way I'm able to see her V-taper, see her shape from the elbows, to the lats, to the waist, to the quads, all the way through her feet. We now have her to the point where she's able to pose all the way through her fist in every single pose. When she transitions, you see all the work she's putting on stage, she's putting off the stage to create the look that we've been able to create. So here, she has her elbows nice and level, chest is lifted, ribs are lifted, she's not crowding the head, she has a big, beautiful smile, she's giving you presence at the same time, and even through her pants, you can see her quads are flexed all the way up to her hips, okay? Flex your legs all the way, feel it. If you cannot hold your quad flex all the way for more than 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, you need to keep working. Okay? So she's still holding this pose. She's not shaking, she's not doing anything, her face isn't starting getting funky. She's keeping the whole thing together. You gotta keep it together. Okay, okay, yeah. So here, again, bottom to top. I have OCD about people who do a flat flip with this down. With this flip.
I got a wedge on.
I know. When people do their side poses, side chest, side tricep like that, it really bothers me. So I like to get up on the toe. Key thing here, when you're on the toe, again, we're talking about muscularity, density, depth, all these key words that are showing what you have and the amount of muscle and detail that you've created. So when you're doing that, you don't want to have this side pose, side chest, anything from the side. If your leg is up here, I want your ankles smashing together, your knees smashing together, your thighs smashing together. Everything is pushing together so that you're creating that tension on the side. Against that low glute, still roll while I'm able to still see the horseshoe on that tricep. Don't forget it's a tricep shot. If I can't see your horseshoe, what's the point of a tricep shot, you know?
So some girls lose that.
Yeah.
When you grab your wrist, sometimes you start to take that backward and you lose all of that feature that could otherwise get you those extra points, okay? And again, bringing those legs together, that's a workout, okay? You're not used to having those thighs, the calves, the feet smashed all together. But again, it creates a much better image when you're on stage.
Okay, so here, she's sitting on this left leg. This is her base leg. So again, choose your base leg that's going to work the best for you, give you the most detail. The foot is turned out. So when this foot is turned out, I'm able to get this last little piece of glute to come in and really pull it tight. I don't have her push back and get too much of an arch because I want her to be able to contract this all the way under, give me that hammy detail, and she's up nice and tall and standing on top of herself with her hips under. From there, abs are still in tight, hamstring is still popping on both sides, traps are down, elbows are level, and we're still able to get that detail across the back. I don't have her hands all the way up to the ceiling, Going up here and squeezing real tight, it is to drop back down. You want to relax those traps. Again, lats down, traps down, lats come around. Abs are in tight. Keep holding that there. Key thing is,
Does it count as one of my posing sessions?
nope.
Okay,
Too much talking, that's why. So again, she's here in her side chest. This is one of my favorite poses on her. Spikes the calves, still we're pushing the thigh meat together all the way. Abs are in tight. We're rotating a little bit because I still want to be able to see some of her serratus right on top of those ribs above the hands. Some people go on the duck, start crowding up here. When that happens, the traps go up, everything goes up, it just starts to look funky. Get the traps down a little bit more, shoulder rolls back, lat tries to push into that bicep so you're getting more push. Getting that 3D pop coming towards the judges. And you have the right angle too. Yep, shoulders pushing into that chest. Get a little bit of striation through the top right there. And you're really maximizing creating that dynamic tension. So for those who don't know what dynamic tension is when you're using your hands to push or your legs to push, you're creating that tension within the body that you already have. Okay?
Between each division and how we have a place and we are, there's a big difference. I see the difference between women bodybuilding to women's physique. So we completely rock. So Femme Flex Friday, we air every Friday, and we're looking for, the show is a talk show and it's only women. We focus on you. Whether you are a competitor, how do you juggle being a competitor and being a mother? All issues. We have bikini. So what we would like to do, we're looking for your story. If you have an interesting story, please go over to the Wings of Strength booth, get our information. We want to talk about and include NPC athletes because you are the foundation. We want to know about your journey.